Now, where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. College Park to be exact, the South Side.
Now, what was it like for you growing up in Atlanta? Paint the picture for us.
Well, for me growing up in Atlanta, it was a fast learning experience because coming from Atlanta, you have to adjust to like the lifestyle here is real fast. So when it comes to girls, money getting, or anything, it comes fast. And you gotta know how to maneuver. People talk fast. Like you just gotta know how to listen. One thing about growing up in Atlanta, it teaches you how to listen more and talk less because you gotta be able to pay attention to everything that's going on around you. That's one thing I learned from Atlanta.
Was it rough for you growing up?
For me, it wasn't necessarily rough because I'm not really from the hood or nothing like that. You know, my family was pretty well off because my grandmother moved from Macon, Georgia, from the hood and all that, and brought us from that. So, you know, my grandma, my mama, they lived on Campbellton and stuff, and my auntie stayed on Darrell Drive, but they moved us out there. By the time I was born, we had moved to East Stubbs Road. So if y'all don't know about East Stubbs Road over there, Cliftondale, Stonewall Tail, you know, so that's not no bad area, nothing. So it really wasn't bad for me coming. It was just me, all my brothers, they were from the city. You know what I'm saying? My brother Mar, he from Cascade from the west side. My brother Montana, he from Summerhill. So my brother was just, they was all up through the city. So that was where I came out, okay, they used to come out there, if they wanted to get away from that city life, they'd come out there with me. But if I wanted to go to the city, I'd go out there with them. So that's how I was growing up at a young age.
What type of student were you in school?
I was a good student in school. I was a good student, got my work, got my books. I was smart. I was the kid, the student that everybody wanted to cheat off paper. Everybody wanted to work with me because they knew I was going to get the work done. That's what I do. I get the work done.
Graduated high school?
Of course.
Tried college?
Yeah.
Graduated college?
Did not complete college.
What year did you drop out?
I didn't necessarily drop out. Don't ask if I dropped out because I ain't drop out now. Because I do plan on going back and finishing. But
well, what year?
It was 2012.
No, I mean freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
Sophomore, technically. It would be my sophomore year. I went to a technical college, so it was like kind of different. It wasn't like no, I mean, well, you know if you're a freshman, you know if you finna graduate, but all that in-between stuff was not really there. I went to Full Sail University, so you know, it was different than a typical university.
Heard that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a audio engineering program there?
Yes, the way I was in the bachelor's program for recording arts.
Recording arts, there you go. Now, why'd you stop?
I stopped because, to be honest, I was already like producing for major artists and getting placements. So, like, I was actually out there with my big bro Lennon on track. Well, y'all know Lennon. And, like, me and him started from, like, the beginning of time, Westlake, them Savages. I had OC, you know, we were throwing parties, so he'd come to my parties, come, hey, Tripp, we throwing a party, come DJ for my party. So that was really why I really started, like, DJing from, you know what I'm saying, back in high school, DJing parties. Every weekend, throwing parties, them Savages, OC, just setting the city on fire as usual. But in college, though, me and Lennon used to be, like, partying all the time. We partying, like, all the time, every night. Be in the studio, going to shows with the rich kids, like, so it was like when class is time to go to class, it's like, okay, we going to class, but man, somebody just booked me for a session. Hey man, shoot, they just said, shoot, they got 100 for us. They got 100, and all they want is an hour or two. Oh, bet, why would I go to class when I can go make 100 for them 2 hours that I'm gonna be in class just sitting there? I can go make $100 right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we had a studio in our house. So we was getting placements, doing studio time. I already just fluently in the music. It was like I wanted to do school. I really wanted to finish. I wanted to go, but it was like it just it just didn't fall into my priorities as well as it should be. But I mean, I guess everything happens for a reason. So
Now, Full Sail's in Orlando, right?
correct.
But you were talking about rich kids and stuff like that. That's in Atlanta.
Yeah. Like, we used to travel a lot. Me
Ah.
and Randy used to travel a lot. Like, we used to come back and forth to Atlanta, like, all the time.
I see.
So it was like...
Now, when it comes to Full Sail, I heard it's a pretty tough school, tough curriculum. It's fast-paced. They try to sandwich a lot of, I guess, subjects and you know, schooling in a lesser amount than like a traditional 4-year school, right? That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So they might try to sandwich 4 years into 2.5 or 3 years or something like that?
That's the program you're in, because Full Sail actually they got the accelerated program and they got the
Ah.
regular program. So some people, they go there, they go for 4 years where they just going to school 1 or 2 days out the week. But the accelerated program, like what we was in, you got to go every single day for like 8 hours a day because you got a 4-hour lecture and a 4-hour lab or whatever. And so, yeah.
Now, for the time that you have gone, because you haven't completed it yet, but the time that you have gone, is Full Sail worth it?
It depends. It depends on who you are, because it can be worth it, or you can go there and make it not worth it. So it's all on you, what you make out of it. Life is what you make it.
I see. Now, somebody watching this interview, about to experience Full Sail for the first time, about to head to Full Sail, they made that decision. Any advice? Anything you would tell that person? Any do's or don'ts
Well,
attending Full Sail?
when it comes to Full Sail, I would say just focus. Network though, focus, stick to yourself, but network at the same time. Like, network with your classmates, network with people in the other divisions and stuff, like they do film or cartooning, animation and stuff like that. Like, make sure you network with everybody. That's all I would say. You know, stay focused, make sure you graduate.
So you take a break from the Full Sail curriculum as a sophomore, and I guess what, you go straight into the music industry, the music business, full head on?
Yeah, well, my mom was so upset, like, when I didn't finish school. So she
I was about to ask you that too.
Yeah, my mom gave me an ultimatum when I came back. She was like, okay, so what you gonna do? Like, you either gonna do this music, go crazy, take it serious, or, you know, you gonna have to, like, you know, she was just gonna keep me out the house, put me in the streets. It was like, I was gonna have to go work a regular job or just do something. Like, it was like, that was it. That was all I had. I was like, balls to the wall. I had to do something, figure something out. So, shoot, what I did was made beats every single day. Just went crazy, just made beats. So I'm making beats in my bed, got my laptop in my bed with my keyboard. I'm talking about just going crazy, just making beats 24/7, making beats, sending them off. I got my first placement with Young Cooley. He really looked out for me. I sent them beats. He was on Twitter like, but this dude sent me the hardest beats this week. This producer, Tripp sent me the hardest beats this week. Then hopped on the song and put Jose Guapo and Cash Out on it. And that was when Cash Out just did that Cashing Out song. So it was like real big. It was like real big. And that was like my first major placement. C's, my boy SVL Hendrix at the time, he was going by C's. He did Call My Phone, did that. And so my name was just starting to ring bells. I did some more work with the Rich Kids. We did the whole Teen Ball compilation. I had a couple tracks on there. And then my big cousin, Chrome, ABG Chrome, soon to be rich, he called me like, hey Tripp, like, me and him had already been, you know, doing songs for the longest. You know, he was hopping on my beats plenty of time. But this one specific night, he called me like, he called my son, he called my brother, he called him like, oh man, like, where Tripp at? Where Tripp? I'm trying to get in touch with Tripp. Like, where Tripp at? Oh, Tripp right here with me, let me talk to him right quick. But he give me the phone, he like, hey Tripp, you got some beats or whatever? Shoot, pull up to the studio. I'm like, I bet. I pull up to the studio. It's Bloody J and Young Thug, you know. So I get there. This like a few years back. I get in there playing beats. I like, what? They be crazy. They be too hard. Oh, go ahead and pull them up. So we pull them up. We do a couple songs. We did like probably like 5, 6 songs that night. Like did a lot of songs, Moving, Florida Water. Like we did like at least 1/4 of, at least like 1/4, 1/5 of Black Portland. Like the first night, like really, like we went crazy. Like since like that first night, like we went crazy. And from then on, me and Jay, like we had real good chemistry from really just the beginning on. Like it just clicked, and then you know that's history right there. Like then I did like Jay's tape ever since. Like I guess that was like his. I don't know, every tape he did after that, like I was on, like producer for him. Jay would call me, hey Tripp, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Pull up every day, and shoot, Jay put me to work. So shout out to my big bro, Bloody J, man. Shout out to him. Free him, for real, free him ASAP. Like, he really looked out for me. He saw something in me a lot of people didn't see at that time. And, you know.
Now, okay, what do you say to somebody watching this interview, listening to your story, coming out of high school thinking about the next step in their life? Because there's different types of options. Some people say you need to go to school, college. Some people say you don't need college. Some people might say a technical school, trade school is cool. Some people drop out, end up being successful anyways, like Bill Gates, right? And some people go to school, get a degree, don't end up doing a career they got the degree in. They end up doing something else. So what do you say to that person thinking about the next step in their life after high school? What's your advice?
My advice would be, life is what you make it. Follow your passion. If you don't have a passion, find it. Find what you really like to do and just follow your heart and go with that. That's what I would say, because college and all that don't have nothing to do with your passion.
Now, what about somebody that wants to do music? And it doesn't have to be necessarily like you with the DJing and producing stuff. They could be behind the scenes or, you know, just a position in the music industry. Do you say to that person coming out of high school, go straight into the music? Or do you tell that person, continue your education and do music simultaneously?
Yeah, continue to get your education, definitely, and then do your music at the same time. That's what I say, because anything can happen with the music, like, you know, anything can happen. But if you got an education, you could get money outside of the music. You don't ever want to just have one income anyway, so.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Jobs I had growing up, I had a few jobs growing up. They was never long though, because I was always like more focused on the music. Like DJing was like my main job. DJing, selling beats.
Quit these jobs? Got fired from these jobs?
Yeah, I pretty much got fired from a couple, quit a couple. Man, I worked at Subway. Got fired from Subway because I used to be selling candy in school. Up there at Westlake, I used to be selling candy and stuff. And so, like, since I was selling candy, when I used to go work at Subway, I'd take their drinks and chips and stuff. So, like, when I go to school, sell my candy, I got, not only do I got the little bag chips, I got the big chip, big bottle of drinks. So, they caught on to that. They let me go. What else I worked at? I worked at, I think it was at it, growing up.
Any crazy stories dealing with that job? Anything else other than what you said? Anything else other out of the norm?
That was out of the norm. That was crazy. Like, last night I used to take the drinks and the chips, fill up my book bag, take them to school the next day, and sell them. Like, damn.
But what did that have to do with Subway?
Because I was in Subway taking their drinks and their chips.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I was
now
literally like taking the chips like in the back room, big old box of all the flavor chips, with the Doritos, red Doritos, blue Doritos, sun chips. Yeah, all that. All that. I was packing up my book bag, packing up the drinks as much as I could take. Some nights I probably take 2 book bags.
How'd they
Depending
catch
on
you?
how I was feeling. I think one of my coworkers snitched. They told. I think that's what happened. And they just didn't put me on the schedule no more. And then it was like, well, they didn't put me on the schedule. Like, nobody could tell me. But I already knew what it was.
Now, you mentioned your mother in this interview. Are both parents in your life?
Both parents, like my mother and my grandmother. Those are both parents in my life.
Okay. What happened to your father?
My father is... my father is actually in Colorado right now.
So no relationship with your father at this point?
I mean, shout out to my pops, man. Hey, pops. Hey,
How old were you when they separated?
How long have we been separated?
No. How old were you when your mother and your father separated?
It's probably like 3, 4 years old.
Very
maybe.
young.
Yeah, I was young. He ended up getting a prison sentence.
Ah.
Yeah, he went to prison for like 10 years.
For what? If you don't mind me asking.
Like robbing and stuff. Yeah, he was going crazy. He was robbing and stuff, I think.
Is he still incarcerated?
No, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
How does one deal with that? Was that tough for you?
Yeah, it was very tough. Like, it was like not having a father was like, that was like almost like probably one of the worst things that I had to endure in my life was like not having a father. That's like, yeah, it was real bad growing up. It was real bad.
Did you stay in touch with him during his incarceration, or was it?
Yeah, he
okay, you
used to
did.
write me letters and stuff. I used to talk to him on the phone, go visit him. Yeah, my grandma used to always make sure she took me and visit him. My grandma Nita, she used to take me out there and make sure I seen him and stuff like that.
What's your advice to somebody, and how old were you again when he went to prison, when he first started?
I can't even remember. I had to be like 4 or 5.
Ah, very young.
Yeah, I was young. Like,
up into your early teenage years.
Yeah.
What do you say to
got out
somebody?
when I was like 15, I think. So I'm probably like 5, 6.
What do you say to somebody going through a similar situation and they have to have maybe their parent or guardian do a long stretch like that, long bid, incarcerated?
I would say you have to just be strong and really focus on yourself and focus on what you want out of life and just take advantage of every opportunity and situation you have to make yourself a better person so you don't end up in that same predicament.
Now, are you the only child or did you have other siblings?
Oh no, I got 2 little sisters, Sierra and Kaylin. Kaylin, she'll sing it to you. I need some hooks. You know, that different
I was
stuff.
just going to ask if anybody else in your family does music aside yourself.
My little sister, she go crazy. Kaylin Lene, she go crazy with the music, man, singing. And she's very creative. She's very creative.
Have y'all collabed?
Yeah, we collab. We actually got a song out right now called Out Tonight. I ain't gonna get that. We got a song called Dream Killer 2. Yeah, we every time we work, we do like kind of like some like different stuff. It's always like real different. But my mom, she was in the show choir. My grandmother, she was a gospel singer. She was a gospel singer. She dropped a vinyl album and everything. She actually used to travel and they used to perform at different places with her group and stuff. And like I've been around music all my life. Like, just really creativity. Like, yeah, my mom, she was in the show choir, sings in the choir at church. Grandmother sings in the choir at church. My grandfather, he plays the piano and played the trumpet. My uncle used to sing. And my uncle, matter of fact, he still sings. Like, my uncle be singing and stuff. And he used to have, like, a little group he was singing. My dad, he draws. Like, he know how to draw real good. So,
what does your family think about your DJ production career?
my family actually, it took them a minute to understand because they always wanted me to like get my education stuff too, and they never thought that the music was beneficial in the beginning until I started to bring my vision to fruition, and they actually started to see it. Like my mom is very supportive. Like without my mom, I wouldn't have made it as far as I've made it. Like my mom she's been very instrumental in my success. My grandmother, she was always hard to understand. My grandmother, my grandfather, it was hard to understand, but they started to, like, my grandmother, she helped me if it wasn't for her either, because she actually let me put the studio in her house, like, in the basement, like, and she never, like, really told me, it was like, she always let me do whatever, like, I used to bring everybody, like, me and London used to go crazy in the studio, like, that was where it started, at my grandma's house, like, everybody been through that pretty much. So, like, they're very supportive. My family supports me in my music.
Have your parents seen you DJ?
Yes. My mom has actually came with me in a few gigs. And, like, I've DJ'd, like, church events, too, like church cookouts and stuff like that. So my grandmother would be there, too. So everybody's pretty much, like, witnessed me DJ. My mom has helped me DJ. Like,
What do they think?
They think...
Of your performance?
They think, yeah. They think, oh yeah, he's good at what he does.
Now, in regards to your parents, what's the worst thing you put them through?
Ooh. I wrecked my mom's Honda coming from the studio one night. That was like one of the worst things I put my mama through. Yeah,
You crashed into somebody, or you kind of did your own thing and crashed into, something by yourself?
It was somebody. Yeah, it was like, it was somebody that night. I was up for like 3 days. It was bad. It was like 5 in the morning on the way home. That was crazy. She was so mad.
Were you okay?
Yeah, my leg was messed up. I was like, my leg was just hurt a little bit. I was on crutches for like 2 weeks or something like that, I think.
Did you wear a seatbelt? Did that save you?
Yeah, seatbelt. Seatbelt did save me.
Now,
it did. I probably would have went through the windshield with the seatbelt.
Now, I've heard sometimes people say before that, especially with statistics and stuff, that they say that sleeping while driving can be just as deadly or as dangerous as driving drunk, driving under the influence. Would you say that's a fair statement or no?
Well,
you said you didn't sleep in 3 days, so.
Yeah, I didn't sleep in 3 days. I was like up. I had just left the studio with my boy Swift. We was up there going crazy. We was at business, I think. So that was a long way home. I came all the way from business all the way to the south side. And I was like, I think I was in the studio with Jay the night before that. And it's like, I was going crazy. I was in the studio with Jay. And then in the studio with Swift. And I don't know, but yeah, I would say being drunk and being asleep would probably be equivalent. Like, yeah, because I've drove, like, experienced both ways. And I could say, like, if not the same, very similar, because you're not focused as you should be. So, yeah.
Now, what's your message to the youth, overall speaking? We talked about a variety subject in regards to your upbringing, but what would you tell them?
I would tell them, stay focused, find your passion, follow it, and educate yourself, pay attention, talk less, listen more.